I welcome all the students for today's lecture video. And in this lecture video, we are going to discuss about economy, industry and company analysis. In the previous class, we discussed about fundamental analysis. The fundamental analysis is having three parts. One is economy analysis, the other one is industry analysis and the other one is company analysis. So, in this class, we are going to discuss about these three types of analysis. And the lecture objectives are like to explore the fundamental analysis. To what is the fundamental analysis? We are going to explore this fundamental analysis, and also to understand the process for economic, industry and company analysis. So, how to do this economic analysis, industry analysis and fundamental this taking a company analysis. All these three different types of analysis a process will be explained here. And also the outcome is the student is able to understand and interpret the fundamental analysis in detail. So, you will be able to understand and also interpret what is the fundamental analysis, and also you will be able to analyze the industry, economy and company in terms of investment. So, if at all you want to make an investment, then you can do this economy, industry and company and finally take decisions on your own. Now, what is the economic analysis? Say for example, you want to make an investment. If you want to make an investment, then you will make an investment either in one particular country. So, whenever you are making an investment in one particular country, you should know about the country's economy, whether the country's economy is in good or not, stable or not, and maybe this stability or the growth can be continued in the future or not. So, these are all the things which are required for you to judge yourself to make an investment into a particular economy. So, for this what is required is economic analysis is required. And this economic analysis is the study of economic systems, and it also may be a study of production process or an industry. So, the analysis aims to determine how effectively the economy and something which is operating. So, when the things in that particular economy is performing well, then the overall economy performs well in the future, and also you will be able to see some kind of stable investments into that particular economy. That is how you can choose a one particular economy based on this economic analysis. And the next one is an industry analysis. So, it is also a part of fundamental analysis is also a part of the industry analysis. So, industry analysis is something that is related to a particular industry where you want to make an investment. Let us say I want to make an investment into a cement industry. So, now I am particular about the cement industry, whether the cement industry has the growth prospects or not, and currently the cement industry is performing well or not. So, all these are all very important for me to take a decision whether to go for an investment into a cement industry or not. So, that is how and why the industry analysis is required. So, the industry analysis is a business function completed by business owners and other individuals to assess the current business environment, and also this analysis helps the businesses to understand various economic pieces of the marketplace and how these various pieces may be used in gain a competing advantage in that. So, finally, this economic and this industry analysis helps you to gain competitive advantage with the inputs given by this industry analysis. And the third most important and third thing comes under fundamental analysis is the company analysis. It is about the analysis of a particular company where you are making an investment. So, now in the previous example we have taken, we want to make an investment into cement industry. Okay, well, if you want to make an investment into cement industry, then there may be different companies may comes under the cement industry. Then you need to know about which particular company is preferable for you to make an investment into the cement industry. So, Grasim and the Ambuja cement So ACC Cement. So various companies that are operating in this particular industry. So which company is better for you to make an investment? For this, the answer is the company analysis. So you will be able to analyze some various things, various aspects related to the company, and this analysis gives an insights into the understanding the potential of a particular company into future performance. So finally, you'll you'll be able to analyze the economy where you want to make an investment into a country, in a particular country, and also industry analysis to a particular industry, how well the industry is going to perform and how well it can perform in the future. And finally, the company, particularly where you are going to make an investment, have the good growth prospects or potentials or not, you are going to verify. So all these three types of analysis are the part and parcel of this fundamental analysis. So we are going to discuss about these three types of analysis in this particular class. Now let's start with the economic analysis. So for an investor, it's very important to understand the fundamentals of the economy. Whether the economy is performing well or not, you need to know about it. Otherwise, so even the company performs well or the industry may be good, but when particular economy is not performing well, then all these industry efforts, company efforts may be going to waste, because the overall economy scenario is in weak in condition. So then you will not be able to do anything with that. So that's why fundamentally what you are supposed to do is, where in a particular country you want to make an investment, whether this country's economic fundamentals are good or not, you need to verify it. So how do we can do this is this economic analysis. There are different factors related to economy which we are going to study them. So then you will come to know about whether the economy is good or having good growth prospects or not. So there are several factors which comes under this economic analysis through which you can study the particular economy, and the growth prospects of the particular economy starts from the growth rate of gross domestic product. So the growth rate of gross domestic product is nothing but the aggregate value of goods and services produced by a particular economy. Now this aggregate value of goods and services increasing from over a period of time, then you might come to a conclusion that the particular economy is performing well, because all the industry, people and companies all together are performing well in that particular economy, and that's the reason why the output generated by this economy is good. So means the growth rate of gross domestic product is one of the most important economic parameter which will let you know, understand what is the growth prospect of this country in terms of its economy. So that's why you will take up different past gross domestic products of a particular country, and you'll simply plot a graph and finally look at whether the plot is going upward direction or downward direction and stable in direction. So you will be able to understand whether there is a favorable thing in this particular aspect or not. And the next important thing is savings and investment. It's very important in any particular economy to be stable that savings and investment are in healthy condition or not. See, if you think about the corporate, so corporate make use of external funds mostly and do their business. There are a lot of reasons for this, like tax reduction or maybe equity return maximization. So various reasons for making use of external financing. So the savings and investment are go hand in hand. Saving is nothing but over a period of the money will be accumulated, whereas in the investment the money can be multiplied, or like the value of your investment may increase or decrease when you go for an investment. So people start with savings and then make an investment. So when they make an investment, so they make an investment in the form of debt capital or maybe in the form of equity capital, they make an investment. So finally companies or corporate will get money from these household savings and investments. So finally they will do the business with their money, and finally their value will be increased. So to increase the value of corporate, what is required is money is required. So the money that a particular economy has that in the form of savings or investment is also must be analyzed. That's why the savings and investment is also another important economic parameter which will be analyzing which let us know whether the savings and investments are in healthy condition, whether the corporates are going to get good or enough of capital for doing their business or not, can be analyzed with this particular point. And then industry growth rate. So industry growth rate means overall industry. Here we will not analyze one particular industry, but here we will analyze the overall industry. Like say in a one particular economy there are 25 industries: cement industry, software industry, and petrochemical industry, and automobile industry. So there may be different number of industries may exist. Now we'll have to analyze their growth rate. So to what extent the FMCG is growing, to what extent the automobile sector is growing. So this way the growth rate of each and every sector must be analyzed here, so that if the most of these sectors are in growing conditions, so that we will have a conclusion that yes, this economy may perform well in the future. So that's how we need to track the industry growth rate. So it can be done by plotting a simple a diagram where by taking the inputs of different industries, industry performance from the past, and finally we will predict the future of our the industry performance. So finally this will give you one of the important output about information about your economy where you want to invest. And then price level and inflation. So price level and inflation means like so price level and inflation. So price levels means the whether the prices of goods and services are increasing or not. At the same time, inflation is nothing but the rate at which the prices of goods and services are increasing year on year. So this, say for example, a product price is 100 rupees. Okay, last year 2019. Okay, the product price is 100 rupees, and in case in a particular economy, in that particular economy, if the inflation rate is, let's say, 7%, then in the next year we need, that means in 2020 we need 107 rupees to purchase the same product. So initially in 2017 we need only 100 rupees to purchase the same product, but in 2020 with an effect of this inflation 7%, we need now 107 rupees for purchasing the same product. This is called inflation. So people consume, people use their money for various purposes, like to purchase petrol, to purchase basic necessities, and various other purposes. They spend money. So if the goods and services are increasing, prices of these goods and services increasing from year on year, then they need more in money from year to year. So this way you need to think about the particular economy. Is the inflation rate like 7%, 6%, if it is stable or having a steady growth rate, so then it is good for the economy. But in case if the economy is, if the inflation rate is increasing in a very drastic manner, so which is not favorable for the country. At the same time, if even the deflation also is not a favorable thing on the economy. So the stable condition for the economy in the inflation is of very, very important for any economy to grow. That's why the price level and the inflation rate, this is very important for the analysts to observe the inflation rates in the prevailing in that particular economy, to study the growth prospects of that particular country. And then agriculture and monsoons. So in India is an agriculture based country. So where we mostly dependent, our GDP and our exports are mostly dependent on our agriculture. So when the monsoon is good, then the agriculture will be good. And finally the output will be more. If the monsoon is good, then the income will be good, because people have more goods and service, more goods for them to with them to sell the product. So they will go for exports, they will go for more number of sales, and finally they will have some money with them. So because most of the people in India are agricultural based, so when monsoon is good, agriculture will be good and people have money with them, so they can start savings and make an investment which is healthy for the growth of the country and economy. That's why the country like India and the other countries where monsoon is important, so the good monsoon in a particular country and a particular year is very important for making an analysis for the development or growth of that particular country. And then interest rate. So another important factor towards the the analysis of economy is interest rate. Interest rate simply the charge on the capital. So suppose you are a there will be a borrower and there will be a lender. So there is an exchange of things between these two, borrower and lender. So what borrower will do is, borrower will give the lender the security, lender will give money to the borrower. So there is an exchange of things. So for giving security to the lender, they will give interest amount. So the borrower will take money from the lender and pay interest amount to the lender. So in this way, this interest rate will be paid. So this rate is very important for the economy analysis, because if the interest rates are favorable, like let's say interest rates are 6% or 5%, so very cheaper rate for the capital, the corporates to bring the borrowed capital. So means they can pay only 6% or 7% on their borrowed capital. But now, say for example, if the interest rates are increasing, right now the interest rates are 8 point some percent, so 8%. So then they need to pay more in the form of interest. So the business has to perform well to pay this 8% interest rate, so that then only their business will be in healthy condition. That's why, so if more interest rates are there, then it is very tough for the industries to take money and do business. That's why interest rates is also very important. If they are all under control, then corporates will get cheaper funds and do business aggressively, and the returns will be multiplied. So that's why interest rates is another important factors to study the economy. And then government budget and deficit. So government budget is every government has its own budget, union budget. So in the union budget, they will explain the country that how much money that they have earned through taxes and some other means, and how they have spent. So rupee coming in, rupee coming out will be explained in the budgets, and the government budget is union budget, and that will let us know whether the government budget is in deficit in condition, surplus in condition. So normally the government budgets are always deficit in condition. Most very rarely the surplus budgets can be announced, but mostly the budgets are in deficit. But even then, whether the deficit percentage from year on year, whether it is increasing or decreasing, I will let you know about the scenario of the particular government, whether debt burden is increasing on the government or not. So this kind of analysis will help us to understand whether the economy is in healthy condition or not. And then tax structure. So tax structure is another important thing. So every time when they announce budget, governments will release the tax policy as well. So tax policy affect the individuals because they are supposed to pay tax on their income. So the tax policy let them know about how much amount of tax must be paid on their income. So if the tax policy is favorable, so then probably their payment of tax may be less, so that their savings will be more, and they can invest their more no, their money into the financial securities or many other investable alternatives, and help the industry to grow. So that's why the tax structure is also another important factor. And then balance of payment, forex reserves, and exchange rate related to the government. So these are all let us know about the performance of the government, and also the these financial strength of the country, whether the country is financially strong or weak, by studying the balance of payment. So balance of payment is simply to what extent the company is about to pay to some other country, or else whether to what extent the company is about to receive funds from the other country, will be indicated in this balance of payments. And also forex reserves, foreign reserves. So how many foreign reserves that a particular country possesses, this is also another important indicator that a particular country or economy is good or not. And then exchange rate, so prevailing exchange rate. So exchange rate is something like the exchange of one currency with the another currency. So this way the exchange rate may be around 75 rupees. So means if this exchange rate comes down, like if it is 74 or 73, then rupee is getting stronger in the sense. So means the economy of India is getting stronger. So this way we will take the inputs from the exchange rate and observe whether the economy is good or not. And also infrastructure facilities and arrangements, this is also another important thing. Whenever any business has to start, then necessary infrastructure is required. So whether the government is providing such a kind of infrastructure or not. So simply you can take an example like most of the times in AP and some other countries, you will see the SIDS, special economic zones. So these are the particular areas, known as industrial parks, or government offered land or something. So these are also known as the infrastructure facilities that the government is providing for the corporate to do their business. And demographic factors like age group, education, income. So all these related factors related to a population of a particular country also gives you some kind of inputs, like the economy is growing or not. And also the sentiments, people have some sentiments towards various aspects. So the sentiments also may give some kind of inputs related to the economy, whether the economy